Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today we're making calamari, Mediterranean style, delicious, and made to order. This calamari dish is one of my favorite appetizers. So let's get started. So to start us off, you always want to choose fresh calamari when you have the chance. Depending on where you're located, you want to choose fresh, high quality calamari. But you can also find good quality calamari that's been frozen. You just want to make sure you thaw them out according to package instructions. Fresh calamari should smell like the ocean and have a firm, almost rubbery texture. I'm using frozen calamari that I've thawed out with the innards already removed, and it came with both the head and the tentacles detached. You want to wash your calamari under cool running water, and then you want to slice the heads or the tubes of the calamari into 1-inch thick rings. I'm using smaller calamari, but you can always use a larger species of squid for some extra jumbo size calamari. Once you have all the tubes created, I also like to fry the legs of the squid as well, so you want to keep those on the side for preparation. So in a medium-sized bowl, we want to add half a cup of buttermilk with 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, mixing those together until they're well combined. We're now going to add the calamari legs and the tubes into the bowl and toss them all until they're well coated. We're going to allow this to marinate in the fridge for 30 minutes. Now in a separate large bowl, we want to add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour with a 1/3 cup of cornstarch, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of dry oregano, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and mix all these ingredients together until they're well combined. Once the calamari has had time to marinate, we want to shake off the excess milk and toss them in the flour mixture. I like working in batches of about 5 to 6 pieces of calamari at a time, just to not clutter the bowls. And once the calamari has been coated in the flour mix, you want to transfer them into a colander or a fine mesh sieve and give them a toss to allow that excess flour to fall off. And you want to repeat this process with the remaining amount of calamari and flour mix. And while you prepare your calamari with the flour mixture, you want to heat vegetable oil to 365 degrees Fahrenheit or 185 degrees Celsius in a deep fryer or a deep pot filled with the oil. To test the heat of the oil, we want to place a small amount of the calamari into the oil, and the calamari should turn golden brown within 2 minutes. And if that first batch comes out at that golden brown color within that time limit, the oil is ready to be used. And now we want to fry our calamari in batches of about 7 to 8 pieces at a time, turning each piece halfway through the frying process. And like I mentioned before, this should in total take about 2 minutes per batch. And once the calamari is golden brown, you want to remove the calamari from the oil and place them onto a paper towel covered plate to drain away all that excess oil. And then you're just going to repeat this process with the remaining amount of calamari tubes as well as the calamari legs. Once all the calamari has been fried, we want to season them with a thin layer of sea salt. This will help boost those delicious flavors and make it even more enjoyable to eat. Calamari is delicious on its own, but it's even better with a dipping sauce. Try serving it with marinara sauce, an aioli, or a squeeze of lemon juice. I like garnishing my plate with some roughly chopped parsley, as well as a squeeze of lemon juice over the entire batch of calamari, plating it alongside some lemon wedges. And just like that, you've made calamari right at home. Now here's a good tip on how to make sure your calamari stays warm after you fry it, because we're working in batches. It can take some time between the first batch and the last batch to serve them. So to keep the calamari warm, you can turn your oven to 150 degrees Fahrenheit and place a parchment paper lined baking sheet on the middle rack. You want to place the calamari there once it's been fried and the excess oil has drained off. Cooking should be enjoyable, so don't be afraid to get creative and experiment with different flavors and techniques. After all, the best dishes come from trying something new and having fun with it. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 3, Upgrading Your Inner Chef. And that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in my description box. And feel free to click the pop-up on your screen for more information on that as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make calamari, and if you did, help me out by smashing that like button. It's one of the best ways to show support for the channel. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Victor, and welcome to Chef Vic Cuisine. It's my goal to create new recipes each and every week that you can make at home for yourself, your family, or your friends. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you click that subscribe button too. And sharing is caring, so if you enjoyed this recipe and think someone else will too, feel free to share this with all your family and friends. And stay tuned for next week, where I show how to make an awesome option for breakfast or dessert, my apple turnovers. The filling is the real star of this dish. Well, thank you all again so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. By subscribing, you'll be supporting me and my channel, allowing me to continue creating content you love. You can always check out more recipes on my page now. YouTube thinks you like this video, so let's see if they're right. And I'll catch you next time on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.